Am I the asshole for refusing to sell my horse? Me, 24 female, and my boyfriend, 26, have been dating for around 9 months. I've been riding horses since around 4 years old when I started taking lessons. When I was 10 I started helping out this girl at the stable with her horse lady. At 12 she told her she had to sell due to time, interest, and asked if me and my parents wanted to buy lady. Luckily for me, my parents were able to buy her and she's been mine ever since. She's my bestest friend and I love her a lot. When I started to date my boyfriend I was very honest with the fact that my horse takes a lot of time and he was fine with this. When single I could spend like 3 to 4 hours a day in the stable, but as we started dating I cut this down to about 3 hours every other day, as this is roughly how long it takes for me to do all the cleaning, preparing food, riding. Also most of my friends are at the stable, which obviously means this is also social for me. The other days I would not ride and try to spend less time talking, which would make it about an hour. After about 6 months he told me I spent too much time at the stable and I should prioritize my relationship more, and somehow his family got involved in saying it was strange to prioritize the way I did. I wasn't comfortable with this, but I am a bit of a pushover, so I agreed. At first this meant cutting down time at the stable, but it has evolved into cutting down riding days. Now I ride about 2 days a week and the rest I'm simply there to do the basics. All of this as quickly as I can, because otherwise I know he'll be annoyed and pissed off for days and give me the silent treatment. I know my horse isn't really suffering from not being ridden as often as before, but I still feel very guilty that I'm always rushing around her. Then last night he told me it was time to sell lady. I laughed at him and asked if he was serious. He was. I told him no and he said I needed to start prioritizing this relationship more, and I said I've done nothing but prioritize this relationship. We argued about it and he apparently thinks I can just put her down as she's old anyways. I was furious at this and told him that was absolutely not happening and I would never sell her. He said that any reasonable person would sell or put down their horse in favor of their boyfriend, and the only reason I wouldn't is because I only hang out with other insane horse people. So I come to you, reasonable people of Reddit, am I the asshole? Edit. So I never expected this to get as much attention as it did. I'm very overwhelmed and thankful for all your kind comments and messages. I am currently sitting with Lady in her stable crying my eyes out because this has been such a wake-up call for me. My boyfriend left to visit his family and friends in his old town earlier today before I posted, so for everyone worried, all is well for now and I will handle this ASAP. First I need to go home and sleep. Thank you all for being wonderful heart. Holy not the asshole, your boyfriend sounds controlling AF. You've worked hard to compromise with him, but he keeps moving the line until he eventually gets everything he wants and you have sacrificed everything important to you. A lot of abusive partners start the cycle by trying to isolate their partner. You have a whole support network at the barn and he wants you to give all that up in addition to your horse, who is like a member of your family to you. This is super messed up and a huge red flag. I know it really hurts, but be grateful he's shown you who he really is and how he doesn't prioritize or frankly care about your feelings and well-being. I'd run, not walk away from this guy. Not the asshole. Slowly escalating demands that you give up your hobbies and things you care about is a classic abuse tactic. Making you feel guilty about the way you spend your time, especially when you've always spent your time that way, is a classic abuse tactic. Trying to force you go get rid of people or animals you care about is a classic abuse tactic. I'm starting to sound like a broken record here, but best you get out while that's the only thing broken. These tactics are meant to break your spirit, your will, your confidence, and your self-worth. Those are all far too valuable to allow him to break them. What the ever-loving cock is this? He wants you to kill your horse. Fire the man into the goddamn sun and wonder how you managed to date IRL Gaston. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Instead, put down the relationship and break up with him for any, or all, of the following reasons. Controlling, not supportive of your own interests, not willing to compromise, cruelly suggested putting down a healthy animal so you have more time. Girl, come on. The dick cannot be that good that you're actually considering staying with someone like this? Dump the motherfucker already. Sounds like this boyfriend needs to be put out to pasture. Definitely not stud though. Not the asshole. OMG, not the asshole. Boyfriend of 9 months is asking you to give up your lifelong passion of horses and get rid of your baby? There are men out there that would be so happy to be with you. Find yourself a good cowboy or something. Somebody needs to be put back on the market ASAP, and it ain't the horse. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole refusing to let my girlfriend take my son after his mom begged me to? My ex-wife and I got divorced. One of the reasons is that she still is, married to her job and not me. 3 years ago, we have 50-50 custody of our 4-year-old son. I've met my current girlfriend almost 2 years ago and we're planning on getting engaged on the end of 2022. My girlfriend adores my son and likes to spend time with him. She'd even let my ex drop my son off at our place because of work. She's a nurse. This occurred several times, and although my girlfriend never complained, I just couldn't help feel that my ex was taking advantage of my girlfriend's good nature and basically messing up our custody agreement. The other day my girlfriend and I were home. My ex-wife called her asking if she could drop my son off for a few hours. My ex-wife was on speaker when she was speaking to my girlfriend on the phone, so I heard from a distance. I took the phone right before my girlfriend could say yes and firmly told my ex-wife, no, and to stop taking advantage of my girlfriend. She kept on about how she needed to cover this emergency shift right then and couldn't find a replacement on such short notice. I said it wasn't mine and my girlfriend's fault and that she should be ashamed of herself for using my girlfriend like that. My girlfriend kept staring as my ex said that she wasn't using her since she's my son's future stepmom. I said, well, that doesn't make her your personal babysitter FFS, but she said it's between her and my girlfriend. My girlfriend told me to let my ex-wife bring my son over, but if I let it happen again this will set a precedent for my ex-wife to pull similar stunts in the future. My ex-wife begged, but I told her to get a babysitter. She said something about not finding one, but I hung up and handed the phone back to my girlfriend. My girlfriend looked upset with me and said that none of what I did was called for, that I should have let my ex-wife bring my son over. I asked if she was fine with being used as a babysitter and she said that spending time with my son is not like babysitting. I let her know that always saying yes and not setting boundaries won't do her any good. She got more upset and said that I blew this out of proportion and ruined some great time with my son. She went upstairs and acted hurt by how I handled this situation. Though, I thought that I was helping her stand up for herself and set boundaries with those who try to take advantage of her. AITA? I think there's something wrong. You don't seem to have given any thought to your child's well-being. Won't he be happier with you and girlfriend instead of with a sitter? You don't appear interested in seeing your son. Your ex is a medical professional, and we're in the midst of a pandemic. You seem more interested in exerting control over ex, girlfriend and son, than actually building relationships. You are the asshole. ETA. Wow, this blew up. Thank you for the awards and upvotes. You are the asshole. I'm not sure your ex is married to her job. She's a nurse during a pandemic. And what kind of father refuses to see more of his child? And if you think your ex is married to her job, why did you agree to 50-50 custody? Why didn't you go for full custody and visitations for your ex? You made decisions for your girlfriend and just assumed she didn't know how to stand up for herself. You were rude to your ex and to your girlfriend in just one conversation. I get the feeling that you're going to be single for a long time. How are you helping her stand up for herself by walking all over her? YTA. You are the asshole. Your GF's boundaries are hers to set, not yours. If you didn't want to see your son that day you should have just said it. Oh, and your girlfriend wasn't acting hurt, she was hurt. You are the asshole. Go fucking parent. I get so angry with this kind of BS. You have a 4-year-old son. Who would you rather have your _son_ to be with? His mum, dad and one of their respective partners? Or a babysitter? Your ex-wife doesn't need you, your son does. Maintain a good relationship with his mother, that will 100% benefit your son. This is not about you or your ex-wife working her ass off as a nurse in a pandemic. This is about two people who loved each other enough to create a tiny human being, and now you are being petty as fuck over his care. Partners who stay together during these years also fill in for each other every now and then. You are still parents. Together. A mum and a dad. Be the dad. Step up when your child needs you. You are the asshole. Why are you punishing your son to get back at your ex-wife? You can use your ex's pattern of relying on you for childcare to build a case for full custody with her having visitation rights. Honestly, you are the asshole here. You created a problem when there wasn't one. If your girlfriend genuinely enjoys spending time with your son, and especially if your ex is not only okay with this but encouraging it, I can't imagine a better situation for you. Do you have any idea how many exes make the lives of step-parents a living hell out of pure spite? Do I think your ex is taking advantage of your GF? Yes. But any extra time you have to spend with your son seems like a win to me. You are the asshole. Do you know how fortunate you are? You have a fiancé who not only loves spending time with your son, but has a good relationship with your ex. And, an ex who trusts and respects your fiancé, gf. Am I the asshole for telling my dad that I don't want him walking my cousin down the aisle? My 16F cousin, 23F, is getting married in November. She's the only daughter of my dad's brother. For some context, we don't get along at all. She bullied me while growing up, and after my uncle passed away she tried to steal my dad. He never allowed it and made time for both of us, but to this day my cousin still says that I was a bitch for not letting her have a paternal figure, which is not true. Neither my mom or dad allowed her to mistreat me and abuse me, but there's so much a parent can do. She used to do it while they weren't watching too, and I was too afraid to tell them because I could see how important it was for my dad to have a relationship with her, so I kept quiet. While the bullying decreased, it never went away. She still makes fun of me, because I'm single, because I'm dumb, etc. etc. When she got engaged she excluded me from the bridal party, and it wouldn't matter if it wasn't for the fact that she included the rest of the family, her mom's side and my brothers. My dad found this suspicious and things got a lot worse with her. Funny comments. That I'll probably attend alone. That she didn't think the bridesmaid dress would be flattering to me because of my size, etc. She took my parents to dinner last week and asked my dad to walk her down the aisle, and I don't know what excuse he gave her, but after that, he came to my room and asked me if I would be okay with this. I was honest, I said no. I told him that she made most of my life hell. Even before my uncle passed away, and since I was his only daughter, I thought it would be an experience between us, that I knew she would ask, and I only wanted to make my feelings clear, but that at the end of the day, the decision was his and I'll accept whatever he decides because I know how important she is for him. He told me that he loved her as a daughter too, and that was it. Well, my dad told her no, and now my cousin is blaming me, telling everyone that I forced him, that I was a jealous little bee, and that if I don't fix it then I wouldn't be welcome at her wedding. My mom and my aunt sided with her that it was a low blow from my part, and most of her family is saying that it wasn't fair. My mom called me yesterday and told me that I should have lied because this was an important moment for her. My brothers told her that if she didn't stop the harassment then they'll drop from the party too, and I help but think that I cause a big mess. Not the asshole, and I'm glad your brothers have your back. To be honest, the biggest asshole in this story is your mother, closely followed by your cousin. Not the asshole. Your cousin is an asshole, and all those comments are extremely mean, especially considering you're a teenager and she's an adult. WTF? It seems like you are already aware that she's the only one in the wrong, though. NTA, he asked. You answered. The people in your family are cowards and nasty for coming at a teen like that over a grown-ass man's decision. Not the asshole. So she taunts you for being single at 16? Oh, yeah, what a spinster you are. My God, you are just withering on the vine. I was all ready to say you are the asshole, but she is just reaping what she puts out there. Not the asshole, she made her bed. All these you are the asshole, everyone sucks here votes. Do you guys have reading comprehension skills? Not the asshole. You were asked an honest question, you gave an honest answer. It's not your fault what decisions your father chooses to make, and your cousin made your life miserable. I'd recommend distancing yourself from your family and give yourself some time to heal. Not the asshole. Your father is an adult and can make his own decisions. It's good that he's taking your feelings into consideration, but he honestly isn't going far enough. He should have stood up for you before and definitely needs to set the record straight with your family. Not the asshole, you should be the first one that your dad walks down the aisle. If he gives in, you'll never hear the end of it. Would I be the asshole if I declined a wedding invitation after accepting, but didn't send a present? My partner, Martin, took me out to dinner to meet his close friend Andy and Andy's fiancée, Anna. I thought we got along well, and Andy said he hoped to see me as a guest at his wedding. Martin, Andy and Anna all work for the same employer. Martin is part of the employer's leadership group, but neither Andy nor Anna are in his reporting line. Also, fake names and timeline of events is compressed. Martin's invitation was addressed to him and guest. He accepted for both of us. A week later, he told me about a phone call from Anna. Apparently she'd miscalculated the number of guests they could have at the venue, and would I mind terribly if she cut me from the guest list? Apparently Anna was too embarrassed to ask me herself. Since we'd only just met, it seemed reasonable I was one of the guests to be cut. I asked Martin to tell them personally that I understood, and pass on my best wishes. Then Andy called me, and said he hadn't known about the issue with the venue. But some of his older relatives were declining due to health fears, so he would invite me personally. My invitation arrived in the mail, with my name on, and I accepted. That's when things got weird. I bumped into Anna when we were both out shopping. She said we hadn't seen each other since the dinner, and did I have time for a coffee? I said yes, and after we got our coffees and sat down, Anna said, "Can't you take a hint?" I asked what she meant. Anna said wasn't it obvious she didn't want me at her wedding? She understood I was unfamiliar with wedding etiquette and how things are done in this country, but the polite thing to do was decline the invitation and send a present. I told Martin about this, and Martin told me about a similar incident at work. A work friend of Anna's had confronted him about my rudeness. According to the friend, Anna was just inviting me to be polite to the boss's girlfriend, and I should be just as polite and decline the invitation. We talked it over, and I am not comfortable going. Martin is going to talk to Andy in person and ask what's going on, before he decides what to do. The issue is, should I give them a present? All of the wedding etiquette guides I've consulted say that if you decline a wedding invitation after accepting, you should send a present. But frankly, I feel like I am being used, and giving them both a present feels like I'm saying I'm okay with that. I've asked some of my family members Wibbeth asshole, but let's just say they're biased and probably spend too much of their time on pro-revenge or malicious compliance. Really, would I be the asshole if I declined this wedding invitation, but didn't give the couple a present? Edit. Thanks so much for all your replies. I really wasn't expecting this much feedback. When I posted this, I was really confused about what was the right thing to do in this situation, and actually a bit hurt. Still not quite sure what I will do, but now I am starting to see the funny side. And I'm loving some of the suggestions. So as not to upset the mods, FAQs and my family's suggestions are now here. Decline and don't send a gift. Absolutely not the asshole. I have never heard of this etiquette before, and clearly Anna and Andy have communication issues. Just don't think twice about it. If their invite isn't genuine, they shouldn't expect a gift. Editing to add. I understand basic gifting etiquette. I've never heard of telling someone their +1 needs to be cut, then sending that same +1 their own invite after other people declined, then being told they were not really wanted there but to send a gift. Yeah, that's not declining, that's being told not to come, and thus no gift is warranted, and those basic etiquette rules don't apply. Not the asshole. Anna is shockingly rude, and obviously has a totally different agenda from her fiancé. Also, don't bother with a gift. They don't deserve one after treating you so impolitely. I am not sure what county this is taking place at, but I live in the US and have never heard of this type of wedding etiquette. I also feel like Anna's comments to you were insulting. It sounds to me like Anna wants an extra gift without having to feed an extra mouth. I think she is being the rude one. If you don't want someone at your wedding, don't invite them, and certainly don't expect a gift. Anna sounds like a bridezilla. Why would they do that to someone? Just don't send the bloody invite. Etiquette my foot. Not the asshole. I'm in the USA, and there is a standard for still sending a gift, even if you can't attend. However, there's no genuine invitation for you here. You were initially Martin's +1, which means Martin's gift covered you. Then you got a direct invitation from the groom, and a rude uninviting from the bride. You don't owe these people a gift or another minute of your time. Their event is probably going to be a disorganized mess. Etiquette would say that it is wrong to not send a gift. Still, I say not the asshole. Two wrongs don't make right, but OMG the absolute nerve to invite someone as a +1, uninvite them, and then send an invite specifically to them while telling them they're not really invited but were just supposed to send a gift. That is so next level tacky. Etiquette would have more to say about inviting people and then telling them they're not really allowed to attend but they need to send a gift. Not the asshole. And don't worry about a gift. Their marriage isn't going to last given Anna's behavior. It's also not polite to be a jerk to a partner's boss, much less have your friends get involved. Not the asshole in any way, decline and refuse to send a gift. What a strange thing to do to someone. Proper wedding etiquette is to invite the people you want in attendance, not make it some sort of game. Good luck to the happy couple, because by the way she's treating her wedding it doesn't seem like they'll be happy for long.